Class, elegance, beauty, Michael Hill Jewellers had none of those things. But Michael Hill ads once did star Michael Hill.
Hello, Michael Hill Jeweller. November price knockout sale. Prices are really tumbling.
Now it's launching a massive rebrand, replacing Michael Hill with Miranda Kerr.
Where do I start? How long does it last? Can love be measured by the hours in a day? I'm going to need him till the stars open away, and he'll be there.
Oh, I love that slogan. Michael Hill, fine jewellers. How's their jewellery? Fine. Russell, will this work?
Gosh, I hope so. I think it will work. I mean, I hope in 7 years' time we're looking back on it and saying that's one of the great case studies, because brands don't do this. You know, brands, in the end, you know, if we're used to seeing a brand like Michael Hill, you know, there's a full-page press ad, and the press ad's cut up into a grid, and there's a product, and there's a price. And, you know, in the end, what happens is, over time, you can charge less and less and less and less for the same product because the consumer gets used to buying on price, right? So what they've decided to do is, you know what, we're going to ditch that, and we're going to do what for me is really interesting is, in this new advertising world, there's a little bit of back to the future. There's a little bit of, you know what, I need to buy talent in order to have a shorthand for the consumer to understand what I'm doing, right? So I need to buy Hamish and Andy in order to make sure that Hubble is known overnight. I need to buy Miranda Kerr because she represents what I want to do with the brand. This is 1960s advertising. This ad could easily have run in the 1960s, because in the 1960s they knew, OK, if I can get Burt Bacharach with Mr Sheen cleaning his keyboard, then that's going to sell a whole lot more Mr Sheen than having an average housewife using Mr Sheen, right? So they knew in the 60s, this is how you build brand. And so, as I say, I'm excited about watching what happens here because it's unique. I can't even think of another brand, another business that's actually allowed the spiral of price to take them all the way down and then said, you know what, we're going to reinvent, and we're going to reinvent up here. It's really rare.
Yeah. I have so many whys. I have so many whys on this campaign, and not just the campaign, but their business decisions, because it is like high volume, low price, and now they're going to the other end. Normally you would step your way there. But what I think is going to bring them down is, why are they still called Michael Hill? That has so much brand connotation attached to it over decades and decades. They don't want those customers to come with them. So there's actually no value in that brand sentiment. So why would they not change their name to MH Jewellers or MHJ or completely something new? And I think that's what's going to break them. And I've done a lot of work with privately owned businesses, and this is what breaks them, when they can't let go of their name because it's a family name and everything else falls down around you and no one can convince them. And I really think there's so much about this that is wonderful. They have to change the name because that's what's going to make this not work.
Yeah, it's a tough repositioning. So there's a lot of competitors in the value end, and there's no profit. And particularly after COVID, there's even less profit. And the top end, they can't play in. So that's played by international brands. So they believe their market exists somewhere between like Cartier and Tiffany, but that market is relatively small. And their strength is probably their biggest weaknesses, in that their strength as a value brand is in distribution, mass distribution. They're everywhere. They're next to Macca's. They're all over the place. But with that comes the connotation of affordable jewelry, which on some level is sort of oxymoronic, really. And it's not what they want, because they want the profits.
In the end, perceived value is the business that we're in. Advertising is about the generation of perceived value. So what I'm hoping happens, and I'm imagining that it is going to happen, is if you can get your perceived value above the actual price of the goods, then that's when you get a sale. So when you walk into the Michael Hill store and you're thinking, I'm now in a store which is, you know, positioned as you say, and yet the price is still attractive. That's the killer. So when you're not leading with price, because when you lead with price, I only buy with price. But if you lead with perceived value, and then you get in and there's a well-priced product, that's when you get the sale, Will.
But it's for a different audience now. So let's talk about people that like Miranda Kerr and buy her products. If someone gave me a Michael Hill jewellery bag, I don't even. I think I put it straight into the recycle bin.
Well,
I wouldn't even open it.
diamonds and all.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
I mean, that's not the most relatable thing you've said. Even Russell was like,
Whoa.
hey, what's in the recycling? Michael Hill diamonds.
I think Miranda Kerr's great. She's brand safe. It's an 18-month contract, so we know personal affinity is huge on, oh, I don't like Miranda Kerr. She's going to hang around long enough to, I think, convince some of the people that might have been on the fence. But I also don't think they're trying to leave that customer behind. I think they're trying to add an aspirational layer, and they're still going to sell $17 stud sterling silver earrings. And I think it's about taking cues from luxury, adding those tiered products, and bringing everyone in, so you know, to your point, perceived value.
Yeah, so...
Because they've basically copied the luxury. I mean, if you look at that advertisement, it looks like it's got all the cues of a breakfast at Tiffany's. It's got basically the exact same boxes and packaging as the luxury brand in that market.
That's right, that's right. And then, OK, if you go into Michael Hill and buy a $50 pair of earrings, but it's got the Michael Hill packaging, it's all the better. You're going to... It becomes the unwrapping experience...
I can't be involved in this conversation.
No, but... the unwrapping experience.
Lauren's got to get home. It's bin night, and she's got a bin full of.
I know.
Michael Hill jewellery.
Don't you think it's very interesting to think about it as.
What's in Lauren's light blue bin? That's all her Michael Hill diamonds.
I know. There's something very interesting about what's going on here, and the guts. That's I suppose maybe what I really admire.
I think if you just put your hand over the business name, all of it is really quite beautiful. I don't question that at all. Some of it, like, there's a little bit of old man feel about. There's even the, I mean,
you're going to have to explain a little bit more.
I will. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, there's a little bit of old man smell in this studio.
When you look at the actual creative use for the TV execution, it's a little bit strange. So, yeah, there is very much a Breakfast at Tiffany's vibe, but it is a bit older. You know, like the scarf on the head and stuff's a bit older. But there's some weird storyline going on in this big chateau where Miranda is sitting at a table being interviewed by people, and then she's standing there and, you know, holding a room, and she's showing that I'm a successful woman and I can be pregnant, I can do all these things. And then she goes to a room and she's got this little card off someone who's, I'm so proud of you. Good luck tonight. It's like, that is so patronising, because that's what men do. Go for it if anyone wants to do that. But that's what men do. I'm so proud of you. Here's jewellery because I'm super rich. It just made me go, this is her life.
And he would have snapped that because he owned Snapchat.
Yeah, he would have. He probably owns Michael Hill jewellery.
I actually sent her that note. It was for marketing. I sent her that note. I was like, congratulations on making an ad so shit, we'll do it on Gruen.